Go ahead and get a build off of our technique for the butterfly position. We've talked about the sweep. We've talked about if our opponent defends, if they tuck in their head. Now what we're going to talk about is that if a person doesn't do anything, but you have good grips, so they've sprawled out, and for some reason, you're having trouble elevating their base. We're coming in, we're tight in. We're tight in. We cut corners, collar, and the sleeve, and we went in. What tends to happen at that time is in the process, if we go in, okay, and we switch sides, and my hand comes out, the original technique for the butterfly sweep, and it comes over the tricep, and I lock in, and we go for the sweep. At times, what happens is I'm going for it. What he does with his arm is he goes right into the mat, and sprints, pull his arms down. So his arm is there now. And for some reason, we weren't able to go low enough to pull it back in for the sweep. So what we're working with is a person has an arm underneath their armpit. And it's a vulnerable position. So we're going to work with this side so we can see, and then I'm going to switch to that side so when we work with emotions, we understand how it works. We're going in for the butterfly sweep. So I have one arm underneath, okay? I start to pull in, hand touches the mat. Okay, touching the mat here. We can still work the sweep, but we can also open up to some submissions here. So controlling the tricep at first, upper armpit, going to drive down towards the elbow. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck it in, turning it into my ribs, okay? What I'm going to do next, I'm going to take my leg that's here as a motion and also for extension. I'm going to drive it right into his hip. So I've locked in, and now I pick up my hip, and I'm down in. I keep this tight. Now I fall back, using my leg, pressure right into the elbow, falling back to the mat. Now this is key. I drive it all the way into his ribs. Okay? Right here, like we talked about previously, it's important that I drive, hypothetically, towards my 12 o'clock, more probably towards my 11 o'clock. That's why I want his elbow to be pointing. Knee is high, it's driving right into his elbow. I use this, I cup and I turn. I can use two arms if I haven't acclimated myself to one arm yet. One arm, knee high, is driving. I use my leg right at his hip. I can bring in my other leg towards the mat. I'm going to pick up my hip. 12 o'clock, I'm going to drive his elbow, 11 o'clock. And we finish. This is extremely powerful. So be aware, anytime you roll, you're in someone's guard, don't place your arm on the mat. If someone has experience, they're going to hug you and they're going to exploit you at that time. So again, we're going into the butterfly. Look, I have an arm underneath now. I go for the sweep, he sprawls. Okay, notice, leg comes up high, I drive it behind the elbow, I cup in his elbow, I turn, rotating his elbow. I can use my other leg to drive in, driving into his chest. I have a frame now, my knee into his chest, my other knee right into his armpit, into his ribs. Driving down, steering wheel out. I'm sorry, I heard it pop slowly. No. All right. Okay? Okay. Right here, you just pick up your hips and you finish. Here, look. I turn in, turn the elbow, and I drive up towards my 11 o'clock. So if we're going to go to the rotation side for our drilling, same thing. We drive in, hand comes underneath. I notice. Okay, I cup in tight, I pull back. His arm touches the mat. So here what's happening is if this is what I want to do, I don't necessarily pull to the side because it's going to be a good sweep. If not, at least it's going to open up and we're going to work from some other transitions from there, X-guard among other things. So what I'm doing is I'm actually driving back to my 5 o'clock, not my 3 o'clock. Down to my, as you see, he places his arm on the mat. His arm is right at the mat, his palm. Clasping the elbow, knee comes up, leg right at the hip. Driving behind the elbow. Knee behind the elbow, frame, turning his elbow to my 2 o'clock here. Turning, using my other leg, I can use it as a frame underneath just to help me get behind and tight. I pick up my hips and I finish. So when I'm here, the leg is on the hip. If this was on the hip, I'm picking up my hips. I'm turning the elbow, turning my ribs, 1 o'clock, picking up my hips. I'm using my leg to help me put that pressure behind his elbow. So this submission is actually a very powerful submission. It's excellent technique. It's improbable. People at times just are unaware of it, though they know of the move, but they forget because they place their hand on the mat. And the person that has experience exploits it. At the same time, it does take practice. So you're going to notice when you're practicing it, you're paying attention to very subtle details, which is very important. All right? Let's go ahead and try it.